Exercise 10.11 reads, each of 36 men were asked to touch the foreheads of 3 women, one of whom was their romantic partner, while blindfolded. The 2 decoy women were the same age, height, and weight as the man's partner. Of the 36 men tested, 18 were able to correctly identify their partner. Of course, we would expect 12 of the 36 to be correct even if the men were guessing each time. Do the data provide sufficient evidence to conclude that the men can do better than they would do by mere guessing? A is conduct an appropriate test, and B is state your conclusion in the context of this setting. Okay, so the key word in this statement is that can they do better? Okay, so if they were just plain guessing, all right, our null hypothesis would be that the probability of correctly identifying would be 1 in 3, because they are just guessing, and there's 3 women, so one third of them would guess correctly. The alternative is that they are actually guessing correctly more often, as in they're able to correctly identify their romantic partner just by touching their forehead. And so the alternative is directional, and it's greater than 1/3, okay? Meaning that in the end, when we use the table, we have to divide our tail probabilities in half. So in this case, what we observe is that 18 were able to correctly identify, which means those who are wrong, there were 18 also wrong, for a total of 36. And what we're expecting is that only 12 would be correct, and that 24 would be wrong. So our chi-squared statistic is going to be our observed minus our expected squared divided by expected. So here we have 18 minus 12 squared divided by 12 plus 18 minus 24 squared divided by 24. Okay, and up top we have 36 divided by 12. And here we also have 36 divided by 24. So we have a chi-squared statistic of 4.5. In the degrees of freedom, we only have 2 categories. You're either right or wrong, so we only have 1 degree of freedom. So we're looking up in our table where 4.5 is in our 1 degree of freedom. So this 4.5 is between 3.84 and 5.41. These are tail probabilities of 0.05 and 0.02. So we have a tail probability of between 0.05 and 0.02, and so because it's a directional alternative, our p-values have to be half of that amount. So we're between 0.025 and 0.01. So our p-value is between 1% and 2.5%, which leads us to reject the null hypothesis, and we conclude men can identify their partner's forehead more than by mere guessing. Okay, so if they were just guessing, we would expect them to be right 1/3 of the time, but they were actually correct more than that, and that difference is actually statistically significant, and so we can say that the men can correctly identify their partners better than if they were to just be guessing. They're not perfect. I mean, half of them still got it wrong, but that is still better than just pure guessing.